Aries, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late April 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Aries collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do you got for us? What do you have for Aries gang, the Rams, in late April? We're still right on the very back end of Aries season at the time of this filming. What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. Let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Aries in late April. What's the vibe? What's the energy? And just in case you're on that cusp of Taurus, I just want to once again wish every one of my fellow Aries a very happy birthday. Whether you're right here on the cusp, whether it's already passed, I hope you had a great one, my friends. Let's get it going here. Okay, so the energy I'm picking up here has a lot of oomph behind it, so to speak. Like with this first card, you see her. She does look a little aggressive, and it's not a bad thing. It is very reminiscent to me of the Chariot, where there's like a lot of motivation, a lot of get up and go. So there could be something tied to energy levels in general. But before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the April subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk about this. So we see this image here, very strong divine feminine figure. She's kind of wearing some like battle armor, pointing off in a specific direction where it's like, no, this is how it's going. That's where I'm headed. That's it. End of story. So I think this can be really good. There's a lot of push. There's a lot of determination. There's a fire that I pick up whenever I see this card. Now, for some Aries, maybe you're a little future focused right now, where maybe you're not looking too much into the past. Maybe you're not really bugging yourself about what's happening right now. It's like, I'm looking ahead. I'm looking ahead to what's coming down the pipeline, which is a pretty good thing. But in the positive sense, this is great for energy levels, increase in energy levels, passion, drive, motivation, that classic Aries fire. So this could be really good. But the downside to this card, just watch out for being a little too pushy. Watch out for snap decisions or judgments, because this card could be very, very quick to act. So we're going to put her down right there. Yeah, there's a lot of oomph behind this. So we're going to let her chill out. Don't want to step on her toes, right? Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for Aries gang. What do we got? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. It was centered around communication, that's for sure. The reading was titled An Unexpected Talk, and you weren't the only sign that had something very similar. There's like some, I don't want to say funkiness around communication, but it's like, all right, I'm talking about something I wasn't expecting to talk about, or like people I wasn't expecting to talk to. So just know that energy could bleed over for a couple weeks. So watch the communication. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards here for Aries gang. What do we got in late April as we move out of Aries season into Taurus? Cool. All right, this could be good. All right, we're starting off with the Magician. That's usually a pretty good start to me. Like the energy, nice, powerful major arcana here with our magician friend. Let's get a couple more. Let's see, yeah, very, very much, I don't want to say controlling. Yeah, and then here we go with the fire. Got the beautiful 8 of Wands. Boom, this energy's action-packed. Okay, yeah, there's something in the energy this week, my good friends. Let's get one more. And cross watchers, like this energy. Okay, so this one slows down. So these are 2 totally different vibes. Like I have the big push coming from the center, and then this 4 of Pentacles slows down. Now, again, it depends on whatever your situation is. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first look, first glance, you know, I always like to look at the elements real quick, because I feel like that frames the reading. And yeah, we have a decent mixture that I think is workable. Now, right here on the front with the Magician, he represents all elements, not just fire or earth, which we have coming up here. All elements, so water, swords, it's a little bit of everything. So I like that mixture. Fire, earth. Now, the thing that these two share in common is that they generally represent outside influences. So that's something to really keep an eye on here. But when it comes to fire, that is Aries' comfort zone, right? That is the suit and realm of action. So that's why I've been saying, oh, this is a little action packed. So when I see fire, I think of passion, drive, desire, motivation, energy levels. So whether you're feeling a little up or feeling a little down, fire rules over that. And I'm definitely seeing energy increasing. So for those of you that have been a little down, this is a really good sign. Aside from that, I mean, it can also represent it's just super fiery, and I always say be cautious with fire because it could look like it's going one way and then take a turn. So that's the downside to it. There's an explosiveness, so we'll keep an eye. Then here on the back end with the earth, that's the material realm. So inner feelings of stability, security, work, money, business, finance, daily routine and ritual. That's a big thing here. So your day-to-day life. I like it. It's great for work, money, and abundance. But the downside to Earth is sometimes it could be a little too slow. So we do have this friction right here where like we have this one energy that's pushing, this other energy that's kind of staying put. So I'm getting a friction point here that we want to look into closer. Let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we got the magician. Now, I love this. Great for manifesting anything spiritual. So whether this is an energy that you're embodying or it could be something else. And look, he's even trying to take all the other cards with him. But we see him there. He has all the elements, wand raised to the sky, channeling energy. So whether it's spiritual information that you're working through, downloads, whether it's studying and diving down rabbit holes, spiritual ritual and routine, highly favored whenever we have the magician. He is closest tied to manifesting, though, creating your reality. So bringing things in towards you because the magician is extremely magnetic. So it's like something's coming your way. So that could be really great. Just know in this time, anything that you're putting your intention out or hyper focusing on, the magician's like, all right, your powers to create are heightened in this time. So some of you might want to take advantage of that when we have the magician. But what might be the downside with a card like this? I kind of already hinted at it. The magician can represent control because what's he doing? He's trying to control his situation, control the material world. So whether there are certain situations that are, oh well, that's out of my hands, or this could be, hopefully you're not dealing with somebody that's a little too controlling, but we're not going to turn a positive card into a challenge. We will see what he has to say when we clarify him. Now, moving to the center, we continue on with this really push of fiery energy. We got the Eight of Wands. Now, just like last week, aside from the whole suit meaning, this card is very closely tied to communication. So talks, messages, back and forth. This one's usually a little fiery where it's like boom, boom, boom. Message response. There's like a big back and forth that could show up when this card is here. If we're not talking about communication, talks, or messages, the Eight of Wands is huge when it comes to taking action, making moves. So whether there's something you really want to do or something you're really amped up about, this card does embody that. The only downside to the Eight of Wands, just like the fire suit, sometimes it could act before it thinks. Sometimes it can be very reactive, very explosive. So we do want to keep a close eye on this as we move. Now we get to the back end. For some of you, this could be really fantastic where the energy might balance itself off instead of being a friction point. That's something I absolutely want to keep an eye on. But we have the Four of Pentacles right here. Now, this card gets a bit of a bad reputation. We see the individual there clamped onto the pentacle, like, I'm not moving, I'm not budging. This is fantastic when it comes to work, money, business, finance, anything of the material world, because this person's stacking those pentacles. So if you're in pentacle mode, if you got like an agenda and you're working towards it, or you're just keeping yourself busy, this is really great. There could be great things coming in the realm of career and finance. Now, when we get to the emotional aspects of this card, that's where it gets a little dicey, right? This is a card that's still holding on to something, that won't let something go, might not be speaking about something. So it's funny, we have this energy that's pushing forward, and this one's clammed up. So there might be a friction point that we do want to look at further, especially with this Four of Pentacles on the back end. Worst case scenario, sometimes this card could be a little possessive. Sometimes it could be a little jealous. I'm not going to say that's definitely the case right now. I'm just getting the little potential friction that we have right here. So I want to dive deeper on all of it, Aries. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for you, my friends. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the Magician here. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Aries, you can drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, let's get this Magician. Let's get this Magician going. Thank you. Great. Yeah, this is an energy that seems to turn my frown upside down, which is really great. Not to say that you're definitely frowning, but the Three of Swords is a welcome, especially in reverse. It's like a welcome change or a welcome shift. So I actually think this is really good. This is big improvement. So for those Aries out there, whether you do have certain things on your plate, certain things on your agenda that are bugging you, that are bothering you, that are getting under your skin, that have been persistent, when I see Magician with the Three of Swords in reverse, it's like, oh, that energy has changed, or I feel a different way about this. So there is a really big change I'm picking up right here in the front. And there's something about it where it doesn't feel forced, it feels natural. So again, whether that's an internal change, like a change of heart, change of feeling, change of emotion, or the situation could potentially do a 180. Now, the one thing we want to watch out for as we move further, like with the Eight of Wands, the Four of Pentacles, is that we're not like two steps forward, one step back, back, forth, up, down, hot, cold. That's what I want to keep an eye on as we move further. But initially, like, this is something that turns my frown upside down. This feels like a welcome change. And it's like, oh, I just wake up feeling better. Or it's, yeah, I just really like it. So I think this is very much claimable. There's something coming in that's a net positive. That's how it feels. And again, for those of you that are cross-watching connected to an Aries, Magician, Three of Swords in reverse, that's actually a very good change in whatever the dynamic is. So I like it. We're going to keep moving. Yeah, it's like I feel different about this, or I view this in a different way. So there could be a whole lot of things in this time where your perspective is shifting. So we're going to, I mean, Aries is adaptable. That makes sense. I know how we roll. Let's keep moving, because again, we have this hot cold here on the back end. But let's go in on the Eight of Wands. Let's see, because that could be where there's even more action or energy intensifying. So why is that Eight of Wands here for Aries, gang? Quick, super quick. Yeah. And it just really ties into what we were seeing here in the front, where there's like a domino effect. It's like, okay, well, once I take care of this business, then that's handled. And I just feel like there's a lot of weight off my shoulders. Now, I also think with the Six of Wands in reverse, underneath the three, like underneath the Eight of Wands, this could absolutely be a return of some kind. Again, not every return is a bad thing, okay? Whether it's a situation, a way of being, there's like a revisiting going on. I do want to hold my high hopes until we get to the back end, though, because for some Aries, the Eight of Wands with the Six of Swords in reverse, that could be an energy where it's like, ooh, that talk got really fiery. So it's like I'm getting several things here. This could definitely be an explosive talk where it just intensifies. I'm also getting this energy that seems to be looping back around or potentially returning or revisiting something. But for the most part, the first thing popping out to me is the energy that's changing, like in a very, very big way. So, I mean, it's like a domino. It's like this one starts, I feel better, boom, then this explosive one comes in. So I feel that the energy is shifting for the better, whatever dynamic you're going through right now. Whether you even notice it or not, that's another thing. Sometimes, like, things might feel the same. Life might feel monotonous. Who knows? But the energy is shifting behind the scenes, and it's only a matter of time before reality catches up, if that makes sense. So I know that's a lot of stuff. Yeah, the explosive talk, potential return, but the change, the shift very much intensifies right here in the center. But let's go through, let's do the next one. We'll do the Four of Pentacles, then we'll do a quick little recap before we get into the shadow. Because again, I said this is where the tension point feels like to me. So let's see what that Four of Pentacles has. Okay. Yeah. So maybe this explosive energy pushing through is a breakthrough of some kind. That's how it feels to me. There is really, really fantastic energy around money, finance, work, business, any of the material related stuff. This is a cause for celebration here on the back end, where it's like, I knew it would happen. I knew it. I did it. Awesome. There's like an energy of achievement here as well. So Aries, I like the reading this week for the most part. Now, obviously, it's not the most perfect one I've ever seen, but I'll take it. I feel like this is claimable. So we got the Three of Cups right here on the back end. Now, For some of you, it could be important to keep your circle small in this time too. I know that's like a super random one, but when I see the Four of Pentacles, Three of Cups, it's like, yeah, keep it a small circle, tight circle. So I'm not saying just reject every new person that comes into your life, but it's like keep the circle small. But this is celebrating, right? Like you see the people, they're raising a toast, they're having a good time. This card is another one that gets a bad reputation, but I really like it. So like this usually represents wins and victories to me. So it's like we have a two-pronged message here. One, this tension point could potentially be a really big breakthrough or an explosive breakthrough of some kind, where it's like change, shift, boom, explosive breakthrough. Now everything's good. But for another portion of you, this just looks really great for work, money, business, finance. So let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadow. I like it. I do. Notice we got the double threes here as well. But if you look here in the box, position number one, we got the Magician with the Three of Swords in reverse. That's where the energy does begin to shift. And I said that feels like my frown is turning upside down. So again, those of you that may have been feeling down, dealing with some frustrating stuff, a problem that may have been bugging you for a while, this is like, I feel better about it. I feel different about it. That's good. Um, Moving to the center, this is the only place where we could potentially go off the rails a little bit. But we got the Eight of Wands with the Six of Swords in reverse underneath it. So this can be an explosive talk of some kind where it just intensifies rather quickly. So watch out for that. For another portion of you, this could be someone or something returning or popping back up. But the main thing I'm picking up here is the change. Like it's like a domino effect where it's like this thing changes and then boom, everything else starts to follow the leader, if that makes sense. On the back end, we have the Four of Pentacles, Three of Cups, very good results, explosive breakthrough here. So I love the energetic charge I'm picking up because for the vast majority of Aries, it's moving in the right direction. Yeah, something here about keeping your circle small, like the people around you. But yeah, this is a win, and I'll claim it. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into that further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. And yeah, I always like to pull a shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing. So let's get you one here. What do we got for Aries? And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this going. What do we got for Aries, gang? What do we got? Cool. Yeah. Oh, wow. So the Magician pops out. So we lead off the reading with the Magician and we cap it off with the Magician as well. So it is important to speak about the shadow side of this, but to me, initially what I'm feeling is that it reinforces a lot of the stuff we were feeling, especially in the beginning. Because with the Magician in the shadows, it is something changing, even if it's not readily apparent. And I think I did mention where it's like, oh no, something's energetically shifting in a big way, even if reality hasn't caught up yet. This does reinforce that. So I think this is absolutely beautiful. But again, the shadow side of the Magician does deal with situations regarding control. So again, whether there are certain situations that seem as if they're out of your hands, or there could be an acceptance around it. Like this Magician wants to micromanage in its dark form. So just watch out for that. There's something here about just letting something flow because the energy is already in place. Reality just needs to catch up. So we're going to put the Magician right there. Watch out for funky spiritual things too, but we're just going to leave them right there, Aries. That's what I got for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the April subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session with me at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. But for the April subscriber surprise, we're doing a nice winner's choice once again. At the end of the month, I will choose 3 lucky subscribers to either win their choice of the Gilded Tarot Royale or one of the custom-made crystal pendants from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So winner's choice. And if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, you can let me know down in the comments, how much do you know about the meanings of tarot cards? Are you an expert reader? Are you a beginner, intermediate? Do you know a lot? Do you know a little? You'll be entered to win. And at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my posts tab. YouTube changed it. And yeah, that's where it'll be, my friends. Much love, and I'll talk to you soon.